2023 was one great year when it comes to the films released. It was filled with bunch of various movies in different genres with the most talented directors and actors. From the most unique and creative movies like Barbie and Poor Things to two of the greatest non-fiction movies I've ever watched from the greatest directors of all time, Nolan's Oppenheimer and Scorsese's Killers of the Flower Moon, I can't express how much I enjoyed the films released last year. But despite all the great movies, there's one movie I can't stop thinking about. One movie that really made me fear something. And with the Oscars right around our corner, what better time than now to talk about Celine Song's past lives? When I first watched Past Lives, I didn't love it as much as I do now. With all the great reviews and the praises it got, despite thinking it was certainly good, I honestly thought it wasn't all that people made it to be. And the moment the credits roared, I was ready to move on with my life. But as time passed by, it continued to come back to me. I just couldn't stop thinking about Past Lives and the emotion it had. And the second viewing of the movie was certainly better. Inyan. A Korean word referring to relationships driven by destiny or fate. The movie refers to Inyan as something that's involved in every relationship we encounter in our lives. Even if people simply pass by each other on the street, it's considered an Inyan. The constant talk of Inyan in the movie makes us wonder which of the two men in Nora's life could be her Inyan. Arthur, another writer she simply met at the writer's retreat, or Haesung, her childhood sweetheart from her homeland South Korea. For the good half of the movie, we are shown to the relationship between Nora and Haesung. It's only 40 minutes in the movie we are introduced to Arthur. Though Haesung is the one who is introduced later in the marriage of Nora and Arthur, to us the audience, Arthur is the one who was introduced between the relationship of Nora and Haesung. From this choice of Arthur coming later in the movie after we see everything Nora and Haesung, who obviously had feelings for each other, went through together, it makes us believe for a moment Nora and Haesung must be the Inyan for each other. But Nora had to make a choice. Just like the language barrier she's stuck in between English and Korean, she's stuck in between Arthur and Haesung. And in the private conversation she has with Haesung in Korean, she makes a choice. She chooses to continue to live as Nora for Arthur instead of Nayoung for Haesung. She chooses her life now as Nora instead of her life of the past she had as Nayoung. And Haesung accepts it. Haesung accepts that Nora is a person who stays for Arthur, and for him, she's a person that lives.
그리고 내가 너 좋아한 이유는 네가 너이기 때문이야. 그리고 넌 누구냐면 떠나는 사람인 거야.
The movie ends with the acceptance of all three characters. I guess that's the core message of the movie. Acceptance of destiny. Perhaps maturing is realizing the fate you believed for a moment was true actually isn't. Realizing the Inyan that seemed so right at one point has always been separated. Not only by borders or language barriers, but by a choice of a lifetime led by fate itself. And the closure of that pain comes from accepting the fate and embracing the current life every choice of your life has led to. The reason why Past Lives hits harder than any other films of 2023 is because of how personal it is. Not only is this semi-biographic movie of the director Celine Song, the way the film unwraps its plot and the core message just feels so personal. We all go through many encounters in life, some encounters more special than others. But as many encounters we have, we separate ways with that many people. And some we wish we hadn't. Some we wish we had kept that relationship forever. But destiny sometimes doesn't allow that. Sometimes we have no choice but to contradict our beliefs and walk away and choose our life instead of theirs. we have no choice but to promise each other another chance in another lifetime.
이것도 전생이라면 우리의 다음 생에서는 벌써 서로에게 다른 인연인 게 아닐까?
But in the end, there is no regret. In the end, there is nothing to be sorry about.